Alrighty, so you can see that we have the new trucks ready to go, all wired up. Some new wheel sets in here, and I got all excited to put this in the frame, and I mounted them in there, and lo and behold, they don't work. And the reason they don't work is because the stack right here is taller than is normally used on this type of frame, on this ready to run frame. So these little arms out here has to rest on the cross member or the bolster in order for things to stay in place, and it doesn't work. So what you call an oops. I assumed that they would work in there, and I didn't check before I went ahead and started this, but it's no biggie. I've got the other trucks which are just fine. The electrical contacts is just different, so it's not a problem. So I'm going to set these aside, and you can see here the difference. See how that stack here is a lot shorter, so the cross arms properly rest on the bolster so they won't pop out of place. Okay, anyway, so I went ahead and forged ahead and put the original trucks back in, and we've got the motor mounted, so that's in there, and you can see here we got it anchored to 4 little screws, so we're pretty well ready to go now. The one thing that we will have to do is probably rewire this. I don't think this black wire's long enough. We got our motor wired up, and you can see here's their positive wire running out of the bottom, and we'll have to go ahead and hook one up for here as well. And then our decoder sits on top, and these little holes are with a couple of small screws will hold the decoder in place. So we're now ready to put the decoder in, and then after that we have back here an area to create a stand to put the speaker on. I like to try to keep all the wiring within the frame instead of going from the frame to the shell, and so we're going to create a little frame out of styrene to go over this drive line, and we'll set the speaker in there. We'll put that sugar cube speaker on there, and everybody will be a happy camper. I also found out that pull this around the other way, that the drive lines, let's see, can we see that? Yeah, the drive line here, this drive shaft, I had some medium ones that I could use that were Atherns to use in here, but this weight, if you use the longer ones, would go back in here, and this is not milled out back here with the hexagon pattern to support anything longer than to here. So they've milled it out to here for the drive line, but if you use the longer one and try to get it back in here, it's not going to work. It'll just spin and spin and spin. Okay, so that's where we're at today, and we'll go ahead and start installing the decoder and the tray for the speaker. Okay, so I finally got the stand built for this. I took some 20,000 styrene and cut it out with a pair of scissors. And the dimensions on this is, this has 9/16 high, and then the top is 14/16 wide. So that's what I used. And then the speaker and the stand itself is glued in with this stuff right here. This is called E6000. You can get it at Ace Hardware, and sometimes you can find it at Home Depot. It's pretty common. But it's a vinyl, medium viscosity bonding glue, And what I like about it is even though it's an adhesive, it's not real super duper permanent. And so I can take and remove this stand, even though you can see here and they're pretty solid, and not damage the work I've done here, nor will I damage the frame on the locomotive. It'll simply peel away, and that'll allow me to get in there and service the gears if I need to, and put it back in, and everything's just fine. So that takes care of that part. We've got the decoder installed, and we're ready to wire everything up. I already started on this one here for our track leads. Those are the two outer ones in the front and the back. Remember, when you put one of these soundtrack decoders in, that the F in the front that's notched out here on the board is the front of the locomotive. We also have our wire leads ready to go here to hook up to the plus and minus on the motor, and we gotta hook up two wires over here to the speaker, and then we're pretty much good to go. And then we can put it on the track and try it out and see how she performs with the Stewart F7 I've got with the Cato drive in it. Oh, the other thing I wanted to show you and discuss is the data sheet that comes with the decoder. So this is the Economy 882004, which has the F7 prime mover in it. And on the inside they've got a wiring diagram, so you know how to hook up your LEDs or bulbs. And the baseline for this is they use 12 volt. So if you buy 12 volt LEDs, you don't have to use a resistor. But if you use anything else, if you use an LED that's 3 volt, then you got to put a 1000 ohm resistor on here to get it to work right. And this F right here, that's the front. That's the front of the decoder. So if you turn around, the train's going to run backwards, or the locomotive. And of course, you've got your speaker wires, which is plus and minus here, SS. And make sure you read about the notes they got here about the LEDs and 1.5 volt, and there's some other lighting output information on here, and also some speaker information. And for more reference, you can go to their website. They got some really good manuals on their decoders. Excuse me. They also have a list of the top-end CVs that the normal user would be involved with, including your volume and your acceleration, deceleration. It shows 5 prime movers that you can pick. And in this case I'll be picking the EMD 567 non-turbo. And then I got a plethora of different diesel horns that you can certainly select. So that's just about it. Oh, and then on the back they have the list of the function keys, what does what. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So now we're going to take this puppy and finish wiring it, stick it on the layout, and see how it performs with my Stewart F7 with the Cato drive in it. Alright, thanks for watching.